The defending champions are through after an epic semi-final, quarter-final. Donal Lenihan.
Epic semi-final it was, and like last night, it just goes down to the last play in the last minute. French bodies scattered all over the place. They can't believe it. The crowd is in shock. South Africa have done it again. The French players are just strewn all over the ground here in South Africa. Brilliant 10-minute period. When they got that Heaslip try, they just tagged on the penalty. Oh, you feel for the French, but you got to take your hats out to South Africa.
Just an incredible game in the quarterfinals, fitting of any stage of this Rugby World Cup. But the Rugby World Cup 2023 is going to the last four without the host nation.
Yeah, it is. It's going to the last four without the number 1 and number 2 ranked teams coming into the tournament. Southern Hemisphere, dominant again. I think it could have done with the host, but to be fair to South Africa, you have to say over the course of the 80 minutes, they just did enough to get over the line.
An incredible test match finishes at the Stade de France. France 28, South Africa 29. Jackie, back to you in the studio.
Hugh, Donal, thank you. That is a match, Jerry. That might be the game of the tournament, and we're still only at the quarterfinal stages.
Incredible. I just like, it's really sad to see France as the host nation go out, but the Springboks were absolutely incredible. I think we get an idea of how good Ireland are that we beat those guys. You know, like that was a phenomenal game of rugby. Two teams that left it all out there. No one went into their shell. Every moment was so finely balanced. You know, either team could have won that game, but the Springboks, I think, the deserved winners.
Yeah, for me, just the physicality. The bench that they brought on were questioning Razzie's, emptying the bench in 45 minutes, taking off Manny Lebach, bringing on Andre Pollard, who seemed to miss more tackles in the time that he was on than the rest of the backs put together. But somehow, collectively, they just stuck at it. And you know, France had numerous opportunities, plenty of line breaks. Just, you know, I think the front row bench that come on just weren't good enough. And South Africa, they're never out of it. They've just that bit of quality, and they're not the reigning Rugby World Cup champions for nothing. Unbelievable game of rugby.
Yeah, we've seen pictures of Chelsea and Colby there. How important that charge down in the first half was. Now, Jamie, when you look back at it, small moments have made these world champions back into another semi-final.
If you look back at that game tomorrow or whatever, the feeling now, like the physicality in that game, and then like for two small men in Colby with the block down, Faf de Klerk with the rip at the end of it there, you know, kind of there was nothing between these guys, between these sides, with those two guys. That doesn't take skill, that doesn't take effort, you know, it just takes effort, just a mindset, a winning mindset to kind of stay in the fight. And that's what it seems to have edged it for them today. But like that was one of the best games of rugby I've seen. Now we've been treated to some amazing games of rugby, but that is up there. It's one for the ages.
Penny for the thought of Antoine Dupont. You look at him there, crestfallen, the poster boy of this Rugby World Cup, everything he went through to get back on the pitch tonight, and ultimately it's ended much earlier than I think anyone in France ever expected this tournament to.
Yeah, look, that's sport for you though. You know, he's incredible effort to get back and to put himself back in contention to play as well as he did. You know, he was really good. Like right from the start, he was dictating the pace for the French, and you know, I think French rugby can be very proud of what they've become. You know, they were always a team that we probably saw they were one side of the ball, all attack, and you know they could never manage a game. But they've evolved hugely, and you see with the quality coming through with their under-20s teams that they're going to be a force for the next 10 years. You know, so it's tough to see them going out, and you know it's obviously going to be a blow for the tournament, but I thought South Africa were phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. I think Rassie Erasmus, Jacques Nienaber, Felix Jones, they got it right again with their selection. We were questioning Pollard being on the bench, questioning Faf de Klerk being on the bench, but when you look back on it overall, like Stephen said, like Andre Pollard doesn't have a huge amount of game time under his belt, but like, you know, Libbok and Reinach really delivered in their time on the field.
So a final four then: South Africa, England, New Zealand, Argentina. So what you expected, Stephen?
No. Yeah, yesterday morning when I woke up, I was like, this is what I'm thinking here. But yeah, I think it should be if everything aligns that South Africa meet New Zealand in a final. I think that's what everybody sort of wants. The neutrals want to see, and hopefully it's just as good as this game that we've just witnessed, and of course Ireland's game last night.
Yeah, it's been an absolutely magic quarter-final weekend. South Africa, the defending champions, are back into the semi-finals. Let's hear from their captain, Siya Kolisi.
Siya Kolisi, congratulations on the win. Tell me what's going through your mind right now. Such a close game tonight.
Yeah, it was a hard game. We knew how tough it was going to be with the French team at home. And honestly, I just want to say well done to them for what they've achieved and how hard they worked. And also to the supporters, the people of France. It's been an amazing tournament and they can be proud of this team. To Antoine and the boys, hard luck in the game, but they can be proud of what they've done.
What do you think was the difference tonight to you guys getting the win?
I just thought we really wanted it. We knew how tough it's going to be. And I must give credit to the guys that came off the bench. They came and made a huge difference. And the guys that didn't play as well, the pictures they showed us to prepare us to be ready for this game. And most importantly, the people back at home, honestly, the support that we've received, they can't afford to be here. But the videos, the schools singing, for us and sending us videos, that's who we pray for. Our families that are here right now, we pray for a nation. It's not about us on this field anymore. It's about the people back home. And that's what driving us. Win or lose, they will see this kind of fight that you saw out there today.
I saw you on the bench getting quite animated. You're clearly not a good spectator. How do you manage that when you're not on the field?
No, because obviously my job, somebody else was on the field now, and all I can do is to bring the energy. With the amount of French people in this crowd, the boys need all the support they need, and we try to stay as positive as we can to keep them going. That's the most important thing. My job is done out there, but it's not over yet until the whistle is done.
Congratulations on a great performance in the win tonight.
I was going to say thank you again.
Yeah, Siya Kolisi definitely played a captain's role. South Africa into the World Cup semi-final where they will face England on Saturday. Well, you said you wanted a dramatic end to the game. That is exactly what we have gotten, and you can see how much respect for the players at the full-time whistle, because that was a test match people will remember for a long, long time. A 1-point win, and South Africa are back in the World Cup semi-finals. Let's hear from Jacques Nienaber.
Pull off the win in front of this French crowd here tonight. How did the guys do it? What worked well for you?
Yes, I think credit to the French first of all. I thought it was we knew it was going to be this tight. I think everybody knew it's going to be a big battle, two good teams, and unfortunately for us, or fortunately for us, we were on the right side of things. There's 1 point that separated it. I think the margins were marginal, but yeah, no, the credit to our players. They stuck in and fought to the end.
You had a few hurdles as well. You had a yellow card, you had a couple of HIAs. How difficult was that to manage throughout the game?
No, yes, that was, especially with the yellow card, we had to come up with solutions. But I must say, that's probably credit to the experience that we have in the squad. Stuff like that happens. They've been here before, they've been at a World Cup before, and they found solutions during the game. And we know it's going to be physical, and I think with the HIA, it's important to make sure that your players are safe. And so luckily things worked out for us.
And now you come back here next weekend, you're up against England. How exciting is that for you and your team?
Yeah, no, massive. I think it's going to be a nice challenge. I mean, knockouts, anything can happen. Like tonight, same, I followed the England game when we were on the bus here. Also, they had a healthy lead, and then Fiji came back, and then they also pushed it right to the end. I think that's what's going to knockouts is going to be. It's going to be small margins right to the end.
Congratulations again, huge win. We'll see you next week.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And I don't want to say it's a fair ending, but that just shows you there was nothing between these two sides in terms of how it finished. But credit to South Africa, they closed it out, but France threw everything they had at them.
Just on that final moment, that was Wardy there, the prop, and Aldegheri. They come on, and if anything, France didn't play as well when they were on. Scrum penalties, a knock on there, not securing the ball in possession. So yeah, and you look at the flip side of the coin with the South African boys who come on, like Zakarga Smith there, just absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. So really disappointing for France. But you know, when it was kicked out there, I was happy with that because I've backed South Africa from day one. Yeah,
well, if anybody saw you around the studio,
Jerry and I.
You were big South African fans in here. Well, let's get to French for you then. We can hear from Raphael Ibanez now.
Raphael, disappointed, I'm sure. Tell me what's going through your mind right now.
Yeah, of course, we are very sad tonight. I think we gave everything to win that game. We knew it would be very tight. Game, and we had to score on every opportunity. We had some good opportunities, but unfortunately we couldn't convert into points.
Where did it go, I guess, wrong for France, or what was South Africa doing well to be able to not give you those opportunities that you talk about?
Yes, we had our chances. They were pragmatic, and sometimes, you know, we try our best, and with the support of the French fans. They were awesome. This is why we sat tonight. We sat for them, for the people who support us. But we have to get up and stand up and go for the next fight. And we have other games coming, not in this World Cup, but we still have to believe in the team.
And a word on your captain, Antoine Dupont, and just what he's gone. A word on Antoine Dupont, just what he's gone through to be here and to be back for this game after the surgery and that he had to deal with.
Yeah, I think he's an amazing player. I think he showed some courage for the last few weeks. We knew he could play at that level, and he's a true leader. So it's promising. I know tonight is so hard for French fans and the team, but we come back.
Commiserations. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Welcome back. So it is the champions South Africa who are back in the World Cup semi-finals. The hosts France are out. We're going to go live pitch side to Bernard Jackman, who, as you can see, is in Paris tonight. And Bernard, it feels like everything in France has been building towards this tournament for the last 5 years. How are they going to feel tonight that this has been ripped away?
Look, they're going to be bitterly disappointed. They won a home World Cup. They've won a World Cup in handball, which is a huge sport over here. And this was the opportunity to bring rugby into areas of France and parts of France and people who hadn't any interest in it. The whole country's being captivated by it. But I actually don't think it's a killer blow. I think the way this French team has performed, beating the All Blacks in the opening game, how they played in the group stage and how they played tonight. I mean, they went after this game from the first minute, and they played with French flair and power, and maybe played too much at times, but it was a fascinating contest, and I'd like to think that the French public will stay behind this World Cup. Big attendances next week in semi-finals and final, and this French team has still got a huge amount of positive performances ahead of them. Raphael Ibanez spoke about the Six Nations there, and they've got some generational players. So I think the nature of their performance will keep people involved, and the opportunity isn't lost to make an impact from a home World Cup.
Well, this is the big thing, Bernard. Everybody wondered, were they going to be able for the occasion? We saw what the atmosphere was like, even with you and Claire early on. But they did rise to it. They did play tonight.
Oh, Jackie, they were incredible. I mean, Dupont, some of his selection in terms of run, kick, pass was outstanding. In actual fact, they probably played into the South African hands with those big loopy passes over the top, and he got caught 3 or 4 times behind the gain line. But that's what they identified was where the space was, and they went after it. And I felt sorry for them, because even at the end they were pinned here with 3 minutes to go, a series of scrums, and they broke down the field. And certainly I think the fans here will feel that Ben O'Keefe has a lot to say, a lot to blame for this performance, because you know, they speak about arbitrage maison, home refereeing. They certainly didn't get that tonight, and I think they saw enough in how the French team tried to play, and probably would blame the referee. But also they understand that this South African team, you know, the 15 that they put out and the bench they brought on, they are world champions for a reason. And for me now, they go to favourites for this competition, despite the All Blacks obviously being better last night. Yeah, well, look, that's part of the joy of this tournament. But the other side is France will feel just like Ireland tonight. When you look at the stage at which they're going out, this felt like a final tonight, didn't it? Yeah, absolutely. And do you know what? that's as good as any match I've seen in a World Cup. I can't wait to go home and watch it again, because the quality, the variety, the Springbok strategy, the skill set they brought, plus what France did to try and negate that, was top class. And again, you sometimes see these quarterfinals where both teams are laden down by fear. That wasn't the case. Both teams went after this result, and South Africa are the ones who got it.
The big question then is, what does this take out of South Africa tonight? Because there's no doubt about it, the physical toll of a game like that tonight is going to be big.
Huge, but like, they're such good athletes, and they did get to bring their bench on. They launched, I think, 2 after 43 minutes, whereas you saw France, a lot of their substitutions were injury enforced. Jalibert, Aldred, etc. were just running on empty. So I think South Africa are probably better equipped to go deep into the reserves, and also the way they play as well, they're very economical how they manage the game. So they play 2 phases, put it up in the air, and they got huge return from those contestable kicks. Incredibly well coached, and I wouldn't have much fear for them now. I think they'll rest up, and obviously their semi-final looks very winnable.
Yeah, well, look, for South Africa, they march on. Last word on France then, Bernard, and everything they've achieved. You looked at Dupont walking down that tunnel on his own tonight. It looked, I suppose, a dejected figure, very difficult for him. This really has been not the fairy tale ending that anybody in France and anybody who's still there in the stadium behind you would have expected.
Yeah, very like Ireland. These players have worked incredibly hard. They put it all out there and just lost by 1 point, and to lose a home World Cup is a huge blow. But I wouldn't be surprised if this French team go and do something in Australia. There's no reason why they can't. They've got a very good coaching staff. They've got some unbelievable talent individually. Under 20s are incredibly good, and I think French rugby is on the rise for a long time.
Yep, you can say that again. Bernard, we'll leave it there.